Coming up next, Prince George's County Police Chief Hank Stawinski joins us here in the studio. We'll be taking your calls in that segment, so do stick around for that. Right now, though, let's get back to our panel. University of Mary Washington political science professor Stephen Farnsworth and our own Rafi Williams, talking a lot about the Republicans. We'll probably come back to that remarkable set of events in just a moment. Let's talk now, though, about a great night for Hillary Clinton. Is she on the verge of putting Bernie Sanders away? Stephen Farnsworth.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bernie Sanders was really at his strongest when he was able to do the community meetings that are the norm in Iowa and New Hampshire. But when you talk about a national campaign, and that's basically what Super Tuesday is, it really plays to the strengths of Hillary Clinton. She's well known. She has a strong support among African Americans, which was key, of course, in the southern primaries of yesterday. But also you have an environment here where the organization that the Clinton team has built over a career in politics really plays to their advantage. And so I think what we saw last night is sort of what we'll see going forward. If Bernie Sanders continues to stay in the race and compete aggressively, he'll pick off a state here or there. He'll pick up some delegates here or there. But ultimately, this is Hillary Clinton's nomination, and that's really why we spend so much time talking about Republicans.
When you've had, Rafi, some success on during the campaign, but the numbers start to work against you, is there reason to stay in, even though some of the questions that you'll get as you travel from town to town and place to place will be, yes, but there's no mathematical path for you to be victorious anymore? Are there reasons why a Bernie Sanders would stay in and soldier on?
Yeah, well, Bernie Sanders got $42 million in February. He has the money to soldier on. Campaigns don't just stop because they're, oh, I'm going to take a break or I'm done with this. They stop because they run out of money. Bernie Sanders isn't running out of money. This is an issue campaign for him. He wants to turn these exit polls. So the exit poll has Democrats saying they'd rather continue Obama's career trajectory, 7 to 10, right? 7 out of 10. But Bernie Sanders wants to get those numbers down. He wants to affect the entire party. He is really aiming for a revolution. He's not in this just to win the White House. So you're going to see him go all the way to convention, even once he's done with any chance of winning.
In 2008, Hillary Clinton stayed in the race against Barack Obama even after the numbers trended powerfully in his direction. She won't be surprised if Bernie Sanders continues to hold events, to campaign vigorously, and to press the issues he has pressed ever since he got in.
Well, I think that's true. I think the strategy for Bernie Sanders all along, and granted he's been much more successful perhaps than even Bernie Sanders anticipated, but the strategy all along was to push the Democratic Party to the left, to set the stage for a longer march for more liberal candidates, if not a more liberal Clinton, in order to counter the Sanders threat, a more liberal Democratic Party post-Clinton. And so that situation, I think, hasn't changed. And that's why I tend to think, as Rafi suggests, that what we're looking at here is a candidate who has a message, who has a mission, and will not be deterred by defeats. But it also doesn't mean that he's going to end up with a nomination.
For Hillary Clinton, this is a moment to begin aiming at least some of her fire at Donald Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, because the Sanders supporters are people she will very much want with her, in not just voting, but the enthusiasm part two, attending rallies, bringing friends and neighbors to the polls, contributing, all the things that make one victorious in a rough and tumble general.
Well, I think if you looked yesterday at Hillary Clinton's speech, she looked enthused, she looked happy, she looked excited for the first time in one of these post-election speeches she's given. And I think it's a sign that she sees Donald Trump in her sights. She no longer has to fight with the left of her party. She didn't have to tack too far left, so she's able to come back to the middle and be a consensus candidate moving forward.
Donald Trump talked about being a unifier. I suspect we're going to see something of a pivot. Granted, the die has been cast in terms of what the traditional Donald Trump event looks like, and in the states going forward, people are going to want in on some of that fun. Do we see a robust pivot, a different style from Donald Trump as he eyes a very different contest and a very different audience as the Clinton-Trump battle presumably takes shape?
I think that we will, because remember, Donald Trump is an extraordinary master of the mass media. What he is able to do in social media and traditional media is something that other politicians can only dream of. Despite all the experience that his rivals have in public life, he is really dominating the conversation in a way that politicians haven't since Reagan. And that reality really creates an environment where Donald Trump is in the business of giving people what they want, as a showman and as a politician. And so when the electorate changes, when the audience, if you will, changes for a different kind of message, Donald Trump changes with it. That may be a line of attack for the Clinton operation to say that Donald Trump has flip-flopped.
Shapeshifter.
Right, that he's a shapeshifter. But I don't think that the Donald Trump campaign has been stopped by claims that he isn't a real Republican so far. So how will it be? Will be stopped by the arguments that others make about how this pivot may take place in the months ahead.
Well, I think we need to focus on the fact that his pivot isn't going to come quite yet, because he still has to fend off attacks from his right. He still has to fend off Rubio and Cruz. Right. Even though they don't really have a chance at winning the nomination, he's still got to protect his right flank. Clinton no longer has to protect her left flank.
Ralphie Williams, Stephen Farnsworth, great conversation. Amazing set of events. Thank you both for coming in. Thanks to Scott Thurman and Michael Steele as well. We'll step aside here. Prince George's County Police Chief Hank Stawinski joins us here next. Keep it here.